not going too well, is it?
What do you expect, Thorne? Look at the sneakers those guys are wearing. If our guys had sneakers like that, there's no telling what they could do.
Man, where's the athletic director? Isn't that guy's job to be like making sure that this team is somewhat successful, or is all their money going to football, the football program or something?
Yeah, the athletic director needs to get on player acquisition. I know it's a high school, but we can do better than this, can't we?
This guy's blaming shoes over here, and he's got like a 4'5" point guard. I mean, like, I don't know.
The coach might have a point about the shoes. I mean, that's besides the point. But you can have a 5'0" point guard and I don't know, would you call him maybe a less than 6 foot, 300-pound power forward, that you're setting yourself up for failure? You need the wolf. You need a damn wolf on this team. He's
blaming the shoes. He should be blaming the player acquisition, like you said, and he should be out there like Coach Jack Riley, redrawing the state lines here to get some better guys on this team here.
I don't want to get into this right away, but like, does the wolf need shoes? Just imagine the wolf putting a sneaker on.
Yeah, you can't fit. It's too much hair.
It seems unnecessary, right?
You got to shave your feet to get your foot in there.
He's going barefoot. I played basketball with a guy one time who played barefoot. It was really weird. I was always cringed every time he jumped.
Wouldn't you slip? Like
his ankle never snapped. I couldn't believe it.
Wouldn't you slip just from sweaty feet on the court?
That's a good point. He was a freak athlete. I don't know.
It's like he's got ice skates on. Does he put chalk on his feet?
He was one of those guys where he wasn't necessarily good at basketball, but he was like the best athlete on the floor.
Man, I have so many questions. But before we get to that, welcome back to the Last Row Podcast. This is episode 124. If you're new to the show, thanks for joining us. As always, my name's Drew, here with my good friend Badway. If you're looking for our website, thelastrowpodcast.com, check us out on Twitter, Instagram, all the social media channels at The Last Row Pod, Facebook. If you're enjoying the show and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And also check out our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe there. Leave some comments on this episode's page. Welcome back, Badway. I am excited to talk about this movie here today.
These people that are listening to this podcast and not subscribing, you're getting away with it, but not for long. We're going to find you.
Please
subscribe.
Hit the button. Leave us a 5-star review. It's free. It'll make you feel good. It'll make us feel good. Please.
Hit the damn button. Anyway, Drew, the Teen Wolf, August 23rd, 1995. Hey. We're talking Teen Wolf 85. Not Teen Wolf 2022 on MTV. We're talking original.
And they're making a new movie, I believe, too.
Too many wolves. Run time, 1 hour, 34 minutes, Drew. Fantasy, comedy, coming-of-age tale?
I think it is a coming-of-age tale.
Coming-of-wolf tale.
Coming-of-wolf.
Directed by Rod Daniel. What else did Rod Daniel do, Drew?
He flew to Nebraska to find out what it's like to be teenagers partying, according to IMDb.com.
I mean, he bought some kids some beers while researching the role here, but no, he didn't do anything. This guy's a TV director. This may have killed his career.
I
think he did the Jim Belushi dog movie. I think it's called Canine. I think he did that.
Oh, is that the one where he's a cop?
Yeah, something like that.
The cop and the dog cop or whatever, buddy comedy film with a cop.
So this guy's got a canine fetish, does he not?
He does.
He's doing Teen Wolf. He's doing Canine. This guy's all about. Did he do Air Bud? We don't know.
A coming of dog tale.
We'll have to look him up. IMDb 6.1 out of 10.
Just about right.
I think it's a little low.
That's about right.
Tomato 42%.
Probably too low.
Metacritic 48%. That's about right.
It's too low. Maybe just right. I don't know.
It's about, who knows? Metacritic. Letterboxd 2.9 out of 5. Was it good? Kinda, not really. Did you like it? Absolutely.
I did like it. I don't recall watching this a ton growing up, and I feel like this one is probably an accurate score because people have a nostalgia factor for this movie. I liked it, but it was good, and I liked it.
Definitely cult classic territory for sure. Well, high school nerd. Is he a nerd? I don't know if he's a nerd.
I would argue maybe just a average guy.
Average guy, yeah.
When high school average guy.
Yeah, he gets excited when he gets the A as the wolf. So it makes me think that he was not getting A's as regular Scott. Yeah. So nerd is not the word. Whoever
nerd is the word.
Nerd is not the word. Scott Howard learns from his father, Harold, that being a werewolf runs in the family. Oh, it's just, one of those things that runs in the family. He decides to take advantage of his freakish trait. Whoa, with the F
They're
word.
going to throw that hard
Whoa,
F out there.
Whoa. With his newfound strength and agility, Scott quickly becomes the hero of his school's basketball team while winning over longtime crush Pamela Wells. As he grows more popular, Scott worries he is being celebrated as a novelty rather than for who he is. Rated R.
I think I should have said as he grows hairier.
Scott grows hairier.
And he kind of was a novelty, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean we'll get into that. But
yeah, his friend sold him, for sure. Sold him all the popularity, but we'll get into that.
I think this movie is not bringing the heat with the taglines here. And you be the judge of that, but there's two, and I think that they're both pretty weak.
Only two.
Michael J. Fox is back from the future in a new comedy.
That doesn't even make sense. Like,
you're not allowed to use the other movies.
Yeah, this is not in that world.
In your thing, get out of here.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That's delete. Delete it. Cross it off.
I need a buzzer right now.
Yeah.
All right. He always wanted to be special, but he never expected this. With an exclamation point.
Is that how you say it? Let me try it. He always wanted to be special, but he never expected this.
They should have had like this with an asterisk or italics there.
So I remember this was on the poster. Like I remember that being on the poster.
Was it on the VHS tape too?
Yeah. I remember that phrase with him with he's like popping open his sports jacket, his Letterman jacket. Like I remember that. And it's not good. It's not really good. Is it?
Not very good, is it?
I don't think he wants to be special. Does he want to be
special?
No,
he just wants to he wants Pamela or whatever.
He wants to move out of this town. I mean, that's a classic I can't wait to get out of this town.
Get out of Bally, man.
Let's get out of Bally.
That's what he needs.
He just needs to get out, take a trip.
I don't know. They could have done a little bit better here. But you know what they did well on?
What did they do well?
Making that money, Badway. They made some money. So $4 million budget because all they did was have like a school gymnasium. Basically, that's about it.
Yeah,
and they turned this thing around to 80 mil at that time. It's pretty damn good.
Thank God for Back to the Future, right?
Yeah. Oh,
this was released? This was released after Back to the Future. They were. I think they were filmed very, very similarly timed, but this came out after Back to the Future was a hit.
And Michael J. Fox was on Family Ties at the time.
Yeah.
So I saw something in the trivia where it said his popularity grew as the movie was being filmed, and especially from the show, and he had to have like higher security by the end of this thing. So it was interesting. But that's a pretty damn good return on investment there, if I do say so myself.
Let me ask you this. I mean, about Michael J. Fox. I feel like he rides the coattails of Back to the Future and Family Ties.
You think so?
A little too much. Can you name me another Michael J. Fox movie besides a Back to the Future movie? Yeah, the Teen Wolf. Right?
Because they're so good. Yeah, I mean,
but it's like you talk about one hit wonder, though, right? I mean, he's fine. Like he's a good actor. That's a little bit of a diss. I take it back. I take it back immediately.
All right, here, hold on.
Look, I'm not trying to hate on Michael J. Fox. I love him actually. I think he's really good.
Man, this is getting a little heated here. This is spicy.
Yeah. It just came to me that like he's not in a lot of things, is he? That's recognizable or memorable, I should say.
I'll name a couple. So what were the two you said? You said Back to the Future.
No, Back to the Future or this movie, obviously, and Family Ties. Like, what else did he do?
All right, Back to the Future 2, Back to the Future 3.
No, I'm not. I said no. I know a couple, but like I don't know. I feel like the average person might not know.
You said Back to the Future, so I get to play
the franchise.
Here.
No franchise.
I gotcha. Well, no, you're right, and I don't. At Spin City, he was on TV, I guess, and that was a while he was on that.
All right, well, you named something. Okay, that's fair. There you go.
I don't know of a lot of like, and I'm probably gonna be like flamed on this here for
because of the answer. The only reason I asked because I knew the answer is not many things.
All right.
Like he's acted, but like they're not memorable.
So I'm on his IMDb page right now, and you know when it says known for, it puts a 4 quadrant. So he's known for Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, Spin City, and The Frighteners, which I've never actually seen.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Doc Hollywood is one that I know he's in. He plays, he's Ben Stone. And Life with Mikey, which is like one of those forgettable act with a kid type movie. But like that's kind of it, though, isn't it?
I'm gonna say that
it.
I am a fan, and Back to the Future is one of my favorite all-time like series ever, and I love it. And I love him, and I think he's not in enough.
Yeah. And he's great. No, he's great in that, in this, and in everything that, you know, I've seen him in. But it just seems like, why didn't he become more? Is he just typecast as like this kind of small guy?
I guess he was also, so he was in Mars Attacks, which is great. And then, you know, the
That's
other
a
thing
bit
that
part.
he was in,
Yeah, that's a bit part.
he was in Homeward Bound. He was the voice of Chance, which I remember as a kid.
And he was the voice of Stuart Little, which I love.
Yes,
I love
which
Stuart
is
Little.
great. I mean, I'm on his page right now, and he's got some good stuff. But you're right, like criminally underrated. And in Curb Your Enthusiasm, he was incredible. In what was it, season 7 or something? I forgot which number it was. But he was
and
fantastic
I know
in
he got a disease too. Does he have Parkinson's? Is that what it is?
He had I think it's Parkinson's or MS. I want to say
MS. Yeah. So it's like, obviously, like the later career, certainly, but like, it just seems odd to me that he wasn't bigger because he is good. I didn't bring this up to knock him. I brought this up to like, it's kind of an oddity that his filmography doesn't have more bangers on it.
Parkinson's. You're right. I don't mean to miscategorize that.
No, it's fine. What he was dad? You don't know. Like, you don't know. What are you supposed to know? No, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was odd that he just wasn't in more like major things. You know,
I agree with you.
Underused, maybe underappreciated Michael J. Fox because he was great in this. Obviously,
and this is our first Michael J. Fox movie. Let me ask you this: are you a Back to the Future fan?
The biggest.
Okay, I didn't know.
One of the biggest.
I've known you for like very long time right now, and I know you like the movie, but I didn't know, is that something that we could do on this show at some point? I don't know. Maybe it's too holy grail.
Like I even love the third, and I hate westerns.
The third is one of my favorites.
I hate westerns, and I love the third. So
man, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something crazy.
What do you say?
I kind of like the third one the best right now.
Nah, man, two's the best.
First is the
Sports Almanac.
The first is the best because it's obviously the most classic, but the third one is criminally underrated. It's so good. But 2 is amazing.
Third one is most underrated for sure, but I like 2 the best.
2 was the one that was never on TV. They would always show 1 and 3, and then all of a sudden now 2 is the only one that they show.
Yeah,
but
they
maybe
show
one
2
day,
a lot now. Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll have to do this. So.
Yeah, sure, I'm in. All right, Drew. So back to the movie here. We're talking about Teen Wolf, and our boy Scott, Michael J. Fox, finds himself turning into a werewolf, getting all sorts of changes to his body. Hair where there's never been hair before, Drew. And he doesn't know what to do. He's becoming, a little insecure, especially below the belt. Is there anything he can do to kind of like, because he's about to go on dates, he might get a little frisky down there. What could he be doing to clean himself up, Drew?
I know what I would do. You got to take that off. I mean, he's trying to hook up with some of these girls. That's unless they like that sort of thing.
No, they don't like that sort of thing. Not below the belt, man. You got to clean it up down there. And I know he's got hair all over the place, Drew. I know this. But, sometimes if there's a lot of hair down there, objects are smaller than they appear. And I think that's why he's being so insecure about turning into a werewolf, right, Drew? Like, what's he going to do?
Hey, I'm excited to tell you that I've got something for him. We've got something for him. We've even got a discount for him. Ooh. Hey, man, support for the Last Row podcast is now being brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Scott could get a thing or two here. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. I've got it. You've got it. Join us and 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping if you use our code LASTROW at manscaped.com. Let's talk about this.
Now listen, Drew, I'm going to share something with the audience. I'm going to overshare real quick. I've been a little gun shy lately about using trimmers down there because, I've been cut. I've been harmed. I've been harmed.
You've been harmed?
When you've been harmed down there trying to improve yourself, you get a little gun shy and you're like, maybe I'll leave it go.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave it go. And that's why I was happy that Manscaped sent us this lawnmower 4.0. I was able to use it. Regained my confidence, Drew. No nicks, no cuts. It was very easy to use. Had a little light on there. 4,000 LED spotlight. So you can do it in the dark, Drew. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that.
You would,
but one could if they were adventurous enough. But no, yeah, I don't worry about the nicks anymore because this thing is just so easy to use.
Hey, man, we've all been there. I've been there too. Lots of bad times there. But this has changed it for me.
So you get the Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped. And let me tell you, it is a game changer. You get not only the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, get your confidence back in that area. We also have the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Drew. Crop Reviver toner. You need to revive your crop, Drew. You have the Crop Reviver toner. They also throw in a pair of performance boxer briefs and a travel bag to hold all of your goodies, Drew. I believe you do need that nose hair trimmer, do you not?
I do. I got nose hair out the nose.
Out
the nose.
That's what they were banking on, Drew. That's why they gave it to you. So it gets out of your nose.
And it works great.
And I'm not even kidding when I'm saying it is the greatest ball trimmer that I have ever had, this Lawnmower 4.0, because I'm serious. Lacking confidence in that department. I'm gun shy. I don't want to get hurt again, Drew. I've been hurt too many times. It's the 4th generation trimmer featuring a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology, Drew. How about that advanced skin-safe technology? And as I said, it's 4.0 with a waterproof and 4,000K LED spotlight. Like I said, you do it in the dark. I wouldn't do it in the dark, but one could try for the most precise shave you could get in that area.
Dude, let me tell you about the spotlight. Like, that's something that you don't know you need until you get it and you use it. And it's like, wow, they should put this on more things.
Yep. And again, because the thing is waterproof, no more mess, no more cleanup on the bathroom floor. Take it in the shower. I'm not saying submerge the thing, but I'm saying get yourself in the bathtub, zip, zap, zoom, and off you go. No clean. The only thing that's going to be clean looking is your below the belt area. Drew, how can they find this product?
Let me tell you what, Badway. Valentine's Day is coming up. It's February right now. If you're looking for something for your significant other or maybe even yourself, check it out. Go to manscaped.com, get 20% off, free shipping with our promo code LASTROW. That's LASTROW at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping. Use our code, unlock your confidence, and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. And by doing this, you're going to help our show out and help yourself out, regain your confidence, like Badway was saying. So we're talking about Teen Wolf. Let's talk about being a werewolf. Let's talk a little bit about personal changes. And I'm going to ask you some questions, and maybe we can think about what you would do, Badway. How would you handle finding out that you're turning into a werewolf? Would this shock you, as the clickbait would say? Would it shake you to your core?
I would take it much worse than our boy Scott here did. That's for sure. I probably wouldn't leave the house. I'd probably become a shut-in, a recluse. I'd need, tons of therapy, counseling, one-on-ones with dad, pick his brain, see what a werewolf's like. You know what I mean?
Let's put our friendship to the test. He told his buddy Styles right away. Would you tell me?
Absolutely not.
You wouldn't? I wouldn't judge you. I promise.
I feel like maybe you would. I mean, it's all in my head, right? I know that you'd be fine. Doesn't matter what kind of monster I was.
Do I look judgmental here? I like dogs. I had a dog growing up.
Wow, you just if you're going to compare me to a dog, I mean that's disrespectful.
I mean, aren't they? Was a wolf as a dog, or is a dog a wolf? Like one way or the other? Like it's a canine-ish being.
I don't know.
Like I'm not saying you're my dog.
Is a werewolf a dog, as in like a lion is a cat? I don't know.
Yeah. What is a bear? Like I've always thought about that. Like what the hell is a bear?
A bear is definitely a dog.
Like a bear is a bear.
Even if it's not scientifically anything, it's a dog to me.
I don't know what the hell it is, but I could say that like if you were turning into a werewolf, I wouldn't try to make money off of your situation, and I can say that with confidence.
I would hope not. Would you tell a therapist?
I think
or
you
a doctor
could, but then they might send you to like a psych ward, or
that's my worry.
You'd have to transform in front of them.
It's not psych ward because they believe you because you do it in front of them, but like. I'm afraid I would end up in some kind of science lab or something, just locked away to be studied by science forever,
That's the realistic outcome of this movie. The second the people find out in the school, they're not letting him play basketball. They're sending him to like Area 51 or something.
It's like TMNT where like Splinter's like disappointed that the turtles are like going out in public, right?
Yeah.
Like the dad has done a great job of keeping this a secret, right? And his son's out there just surfing on cars and playing basketball,
trying to hook up with girls.
Yeah, being in the school play, being the wolf, and dad's like, dude, low profile, man.
His dad was so disappointed in him too. Like I felt the disappointment through the screen.
Yeah,
But what about like, if the guy thought you were doing some type of Hollywood makeup or something? Like, who's that guy that you talk about? Tom Savini? Like, what?
Tom Savini?
Yeah.
No. He's the guy where if you need a decapitation,
Oh, not a werewolf.
He's your guy. Like, he's a blood guy.
Okay, so he's not a werewolf guy.
I don't think he's a werewolf mask guy. No. Why? You didn't like his look?
No, I liked it, but it definitely, I prefer that than crappy CG for sure.
Yeah.
Or some type of like weird mask. Like it was more prosthetic than mask, and I like that better. I feel like it actually blended pretty good.
It reminded me a lot of Thriller, right?
Yes.
Like, you ever see the behind the scenes, the making of Thriller?
Yes.
Where they have Michael in the chair.
Well, maybe it's the same guy.
It could be. Yeah,
maybe the same makeup people. They did the Thriller dance, didn't they?
It's right around the same time. 85, Thriller was out in 84, so yeah.
I should have checked that on IMDb there, but I got the moratorium. I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
It's a violation.
No.
What about like being a werewolf, right? So he's a werewolf. Obviously, the first thing you're going to think about is vampires too. There's no vampires in this movie, but would you rather turn into a werewolf or a vampire? Now, we never did Twilight here, but I'm curious what your answer is.
Werewolf, because vampires are eternally cursed, Drew.
They're like
who wants
undead?
that? Who wants that? Who wants to be alive for thousands of years? Nobody wants that, really.
Maybe the billionaires do.
That's a curse. That is a curse, man.
Well, and plus, like, if you're a vampire, like, you have to turn other people into vampires, right? And you need to feed.
You have to feed. You have to kill people. Like, a werewolf, you don't have to kill people. You just have to control your temper a little bit. That's all you got to do.
I wasn't really understanding, like, does this only run in the family? So you can't turn somebody else into a... What are the werewolf rules? Like, is there a rule to being a werewolf?
I don't think if a werewolf bites someone, that doesn't work. Like, it's not like vampires.
We're not in, like, underworld territory.
But yeah, I was a little disappointed that, like, there was no explanation as to why is this the only werewolf family? Are there more? Or is it just this bloodline?
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you find out what in the sequel, his cousin, you mentioned to me.
Yeah, his cousin is in the sequel. It's Jason Bateman. It's a whole thing, whatever. Movie sucks. Maybe I forget about that movie. Like, they might explain more of the lore, but I don't know. I wish we kind of got that here. We didn't get it.
What about the transformation? Do you think this is a painful transformation? Like, he was going through basically puberty. It was like almost like express speed puberty.
Yeah. No. I don't think so, because like he seemed to like be able to do it at a moment's notice, like when he was able to control it. So I feel like it's just like, it's kind of like no big deal.
I was impressed with how quickly he learned to control this. Like when he was showing Styles, what Styles says, wait, so you can do that whenever you want? Yeah. Sometimes even when I don't want to.
Yeah, I can do it whenever I want, and also sometimes when I can't help it.
Hey, man, there's a lot of puberty vibes in this, is all I'll say on that.
It goes off. It goes off. Drew.
It goes off. That's all I'll say. What about the look of him with the hairy arms and legs? Was he werewolf enough for you?
Was he too much? Too much werewolf.
Too much. Too high.
No, I think we both had the same nitpick about his face. What are those little strands of hair on his high cheeks? Right?
It's like almost the bottom eyelashes were long or something, as if his eyelashes were...
It's like if he were crying hair. That's what it is, right?
I don't know what's worse, that hair or the hair from the guy from Speed, the bus driver. You always called it skeleton
skeleton hair. Oh, man.
You said corpse hair.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this, right? So the family, I guess, is the reason why he's got this. So it's in the bloodline, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
We got to talk about his dad, because we have a lot of bad fathers on this show.
Yeah.
I would argue that this guy is actually a good father. What do you think?
One of the best fathers, right? I think it's a good thing that he tried to keep it a secret, right? Do you agree?
I do. He tried to keep it a secret, and I think it's very difficult to be in that guy's position.
Yeah.
Like, do you think it was a violation that he didn't tell him until he turned into one?
Because
so you don't.
He said there was a chance that it would skip a generation that he would not even turn into one. So why worry his teenage son with the possibility of becoming a werewolf, when you could just like wait and see, right?
My question is, how the hell did he avoid turning into one himself? And when he finally did, he actually looked like a dad werewolf, didn't he? He had like the button shirt, he had the hair,
nice. And then the glasses. The glasses
hair.
were a nice touch. Although I feel like if you're a werewolf, wouldn't you have like a heightened sense of sight? Yeah. You wouldn't need the glasses. Maybe they're for what you call it, for fashion only, right?
It's like when Spider-Man, Peter Parker turns in and then he puts the glasses on and they're actually blurry. Like he doesn't need them anymore.
I mean, this is a lot of Spider-Man parallel. I mean, really.
They even said that with great power comes great responsibility. They dropped the line in there too.
Yeah.
But how did he avoid showing him for so long? I mean, he tried to coach him on the power, so he's clearly been doing this for a long time.
I don't want to get too personal into your personal life. Do you ever like walk into your dad in the shower or something? It's like,
I mean,
like,
when you're young.
what if, like, yeah, when you're really young, like, what if, like, that would have been a sight for a 5-year-old to like accidentally walk in on your dad in the bathroom and your dad's just like all hairy.
And he's a werewolf.
Then it's like, but you might just think, oh, well, that's just adults. I don't know. Maybe that'll happen to me.
I guess as a very little kid, maybe that is. But I'm blown away. Where's the mom? Yeah. Because there's a mom theme throughout this where she's not around, right?
She died. She died.
I didn't know. Like I didn't know what happened to her.
Died by
they didn't
what?
Really say.
Silver bullet, stake to the heart. Like how did she die?
So was she a werewolf or was it only on the dad? Like did they come together as werewolf people?
Father's side. Good question.
It's almost like it was in the paternal, like the father side.
I thought that she was also a werewolf, but now that I'm thinking about it, no, she probably wasn't.
She got into him because he was a werewolf, maybe.
Father's side, yeah. She thought it was hot.
Because she did say that when he was with Principal Thorn, he went after him and made the guy pee and poo his pants, essentially, is what he said. So, there is that whole rivalry with Thorn, right? Because he was going after, so Thorn is the principal, and it was this weird vibe that the principal's given off Michael J. Fox the whole movie. This guy, apparently the dad, turned into a werewolf at one point when he was going after his wife, and the principal liked him too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's when she liked him and she fell for him because of that? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's like what, like she knew that he was the one when he stood up for her, and he turned into that werewolf, and it excited her and scared her at the same time. I just hope that, like, she didn't die by accidental mauling in the bedroom or something like that.
Like accidental werewolfing.
That would be an explanation you'd have to give the cops and your son, really. Me and your mother, we were in the bedroom and love each other very much, but
she's got excited. Like bite marks, like when he scratched the girl in the closet.
Got a little too excited. That's why I tell you, son, please control it, please, because accidents can happen. No, but before we move on, you mentioned Thorn, the principal. So when means nothing to do with anything, but when Scott gets his confidence, right, and he's kind of like strutting through the high school hallways, and he's Thorn's giving him the whole "I'm watching you, son," that kind of thing. He like fixes his suit for him, right? He like touches up the lapels and then the tie. That is like a top 5 dickish thing you can do to someone.
Yeah.
That's kind of like an ownership tactic, if you will, to like fix up a guy's suit and tie. I mean, it's up there with like eating an apple or snapping gum, that kind of thing.
Like the coach.
Or calling someone chief,
Yeah.
That's right up there,
the reaction to that? The reaction is how the werewolf gets the red eyes. Yeah, or the nuclear explosion in the eyeball. That's what that guy should have been doing.
Oh, yeah. I'd be furious if someone comes up to me and starts like jabber-jawing me like that, fixing my suit and tie. I'm going to push the guy back. I'm at least going to push him.
Yeah, you need to.
Touch me, bro.
Get off me, bro.
Touch me.
But if you're going to push a werewolf, you're risking getting your ass kicked. So, like, what are this guy's powers? Like, did they really go over it? What are your perception of the werewolf powers in this werewolf universe?
First and foremost, basketball, right? I mean, that's really his powers are basketball.
He became Michael Jordan.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess you go strength, you go agility. Agility is 1, strength 2. Sense of smell is huge, right? Sense of hearing, maybe too much. Could be weakness. But the thing that caught my eye was that he got an A on the test as the werewolf. And he seemed surprised about it.
Intelligence.
He seemed surprised and like overly proud of it. But to make me think like he didn't get A's in the past as a human, right? So does it help your brain?
It must. I mean, maybe you get a super sense of intelligence.
I mean, I don't mean to like downplay like werewolves, but like you think of them as beasts, right? Not intelligent.
I'm just thinking about back when we were doing the Mummy, we talked about the beasts of burden. I don't know why. I know that's a deep cut if you're a new listener, but if you're an old listener, you know what I'm talking about. The beasts of burden.
Subvert my expectations, Scott the Wolf, right? Because I'm expecting an F on that paper because he's got werewolf brain, right?
He's too busy thinking about those girls, man. That's what he's thinking about. Not the test, but I guess He should have bought beer as a werewolf. That's what he should have done.
Well, he did kind of, right?
We'll talk about. We have to get to that, but we have to talk about it. But no, well, he didn't really have any weaknesses, did he? Outside of the dog whistle, that's really it. Like, what were his weaknesses? He's almost superhuman.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like when he's playing basketball, right? Like, how sweaty did those guys get playing basketball? Like, imagine the hair, like how wet the hair was.
They're going to be tripping
that's
on
why
the floor.
That's why he was scoring so much. Nobody wanted to touch him. and I bet he smelled real bad too.
He just inherently stinks.
Yeah.
No, you know what the other team should have done? They should have got the dog whistle. They should have got somebody at the game to just blow the dog whistle. Like that kid should have paid off. Where the kid in the store, they should have absolutely done that, and it could have won the game. Dude. Especially when he's shooting free throws.
And you can't say that's cheating because it's a freaking werewolf. The werewolf's already cheating.
It's absolutely.
Or one could argue anyway.
Well, I want to argue that. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the basketball team and the basketball game, right? So there's a team. We'll talk about some of the players, but just outright, is it unfair to have a werewolf playing on your basketball team? You play pickup basketball. What if you were playing against a werewolf? How would you feel about that?
Here's the thing. I would let him play, but I'd be muttering stuff under my breath the entire game.
These guys are
like, I guess now we're letting werewolves play. I mean, yeah, real fair. I mean, if you're gonna have a werewolf on one team, there should be a werewolf on the other team. Make it fair, right? No, it's not fair. It's a violation. And look, this could turn into like, inclusion, which like I don't want to exclude werewolves, right? But like I feel like it's just clearly unfair. It's a beast. Literally a beast. How's at the moon?
Yeah, this guy is a beast. He's scoring like 50 points a game, right? Like, is he scoring triple doubles like every game? What's this guy's stat sheet?
I don't know, man. But after a while, the teammate starts getting frustrated. He becomes a ball hog, right? He gets too confident and he turns into cocky.
He's dribbling around people.
Yeah,
it's like boring.
Yeah.
It's really boring. Well, the coach doesn't give a crap about this. I mean, you guys heard him already. What do you think of this coach?
Oh man, I love that guy.
Me too.
I mean,
I like this guy a lot.
We put him in the beginning because we had to put him in because we had to figure a way to get him in the episode. He just does not give a shit about anything. Really, like he wants to win, but he really doesn't care. Dude. He wants to care about the kids, but he doesn't care at all about the kids.
I know.
He's just living his life.
I know. We just did the awards. So just mark this down, write the ballot for 2023. This guy is already in the category for that guy performance.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome.
Yeah, way better than he had any right. He didn't have to be good at this, but he was.
So good.
Yeah. And I dare I say, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to be really real about myself.
Yeah.
I feel like this could have been me in another life.
You think so?
Yeah.
Coaching high school basketball?
To be a coach of high school basketball, but not really care. and not that I wouldn't care to the point where the kids would suffer, but like to the point where I would be selfish and not really care about what they're going through.
They're not improving, but you're not like beating them down, but you're also not helping them. You're kind of in the middle.
Yeah. Like I consider them a waste of my time, but I actually have no other things, but I have no other things going on. So it's like selfish. You know what I mean?
It's your hobby.
Yeah.
Your hobby is coaching high school basketball.
I could see this being me. And I hate to say it, but it's true.
Most people that coach high school basketball, it's their passion, not a hobby, but it's like a hobby for this dude.
Yeah. It's like, I guess I'll do this. Yeah.
What do you think of this guy's motivational techniques? He's blaming the shoes, as you heard. What else is this guy doing?
Does he do anything? I don't think he does anything.
No, he tries to forfeit. I mean, basically,
he tries to forfeit. He's getting blown up by 50 points a game. And then when he gets a werewolf on his team and the werewolf doesn't show up, he asks, where's the werewolf?
Yeah, the werewolf's carrying this guy. I mean, look at the other people on the team. There's one guy on there that's pretty good, but these guys are like District 5 levels of Mighty Ducks bad.
So I have a theory that this coach is so bad that there's probably good basketball players in the school that just don't want to play because there's no plays being drawn up. The guy doesn't care, right? He's trying to forfeit. Like he's not helping the team get better. And I'm just going to, from a basketball player's point of view, I play basketball a lot. I'm not great at it or anything, but I know the game. Michael J. Fox can't dribble. It's obvious. Like him,
I could dribble better than him.
Like I read a little bit about like he wasn't good at basketball. Like self-admittedly, he would say he's not good at basketball, and he had a couple of weeks to like try to get decent at it for these clips. But you could tell he's looking down at the ball. He's dribbling very gingerly. Like anyone who plays knows, like this kid does not know how to dribble a basketball. let alone shoot.
Most actors are committed to the role, and I feel like if you make this movie now, they're gonna put a guy through basketball drill school, not a couple weeks of trying to dribble and make some shots, foul shots.
Come on, man, short budget. They don't care.
But is this a basketball movie? Maybe it's more a coming of age teen
It's a good question.
movie.
It's borderline a basketball movie, but it is not. I feel like there's just few enough scenes for it to not be considered a sports movie.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not about winning the championship. It's about him becoming more comfortable with himself.
but
And basketball is the vehicle for that.
Yes, right. It's like point guard 5 foot nothing, can't shoot, can't dribble, you know, undersized. Their power forward is a 300-pound man, right? Their center is the only good player on the team, but he needs to be fed the ball. It's not like, you know, today in 2023 where you got Joel Embiid dribble the ball up court. Like he can't, like this is 1985. Centers didn't do that back then. So he needs someone to pass him the ball. Scott can't get him the ball. Can't get him the ball. What's he to do?
You got the guy who stole Pee Wee's bike on this team.
Yeah, it's Francis.
You're right. The center was pissed. He wanted to play and they wouldn't even let him do anything.
No, can't get him the ball because he can't dribble the court because freaking point guard can't dribble.
What other sports do you think a werewolf would be good at? Like, is it any one?
Don't even get me started about Scott shooting free throws while jumping. I can't with that. But no. But moving on. I would think football, linebacker first.
Linebacker?
Yeah, safety, linebacker. But honestly,
killing people.
You know what he should do? Center field baseball. He would track down every fly ball. Doesn't matter where it is. Like you talk about a game of fetch, Drew.
But I feel like his talents would be wasted on baseball because he's waiting for the ball to come to him versus taking the football and just like running for touchdowns.
Where the ball is hit on the field, he's fast enough to go get it though.
So he could be a one man infield outfield. He's just everything.
Center field and like let him go play fetch, Drew.
They'll just have one fielder completely.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, football, baseball for sure. I mean, what do you think?
I think hockey would be good, but I don't know if werewolf can skate. Maybe
I don't think werewolves can skate. I don't know.
Maybe that's his only weakness.
Yeah. Maybe he can. I don't know. Like, can you imagine his furry feet like in the skates?
It's impossible. He can't. He doesn't have skates. He's got to shave his feet.
Yeah.
He can't get them in.
I don't see it. And then he gets into a fight and like guys are grabbing his hair. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's the bad part about football because you can pull people. It's like the guys with the dreads. You can pull their hair. Football, the hair is a prop. It's like a jersey thing. You can pull it. Basketball, you're not really allowed to do that. So I guess that's why he's good at basketball. And baseball, nobody touches anybody, so it's whatever, right?
Like basketball is a contact sport, but like they call fouls for overt excess contact. Yeah. So it's the perfect thing. Yeah. What about in Teen Wolf 2, the sequel? The guy's a boxer.
Yeah, that's unfair.
Is that unfair? That's like you could kill somebody.
That's
legally.
Just murder.
Legal murder.
That's legalized murder. Yeah, MMA, he would murder somebody.
No, MMA. Oh my God, MMA is even worse.
But see, if he's doing MMA and he's a wolf, are you like tempted to bite somebody?
Yeah, you can't bite in MMA though. That's not allowed.
But if you're I'm saying you can't bite. Yeah. But would he bite because he's grappled up with somebody?
Does he get like too into it?
Too tempted, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas basketball, you're not even in the situation. You're not going to do that.
Could he do WWE? Like, you know? Yeah, that would be a character, wouldn't it?
Oh,
like
man, he would be the best.
He starts off as Scott, right? And like it's almost like a hulking up type thing, and like the fans would go nuts.
Yeah,
like,
get Vince on it.
I can see it right now. Somebody call Vince.
You see, you won't have to sell. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the school and the high school and the social hierarchy of this thing, and just the idea of having a guy that turns into a werewolf at your school.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be a weird thing for you? Are you watching a werewolf walk down the halls of your school and you just want to give him a high five?
That's what part of the reason why I love this movie is the absurdity is that like he just turns into the werewolf and is totally accepted by everyone. In fact, he's the most popular kid in school. Almost like the same as Encino Man, where Link was the most popular kid in school and he's freaking caveman. I don't know. I talk about being inclusive. I would like to think that I would be cool with the werewolf walking around school, but no, I worry about school safety and someone getting mauled, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because nobody seems to care. And you use Encino Man, there's a lot of parallels to that, which is another episode that we did. Go check it out. But it's a novelty almost in a way, instead of like a fear or something that's scaring people. They just don't really care. He's cool.
It's a celebrity. Yeah, it's almost like a celebrity, right?
But what about Scott? Was Scott cool or a geek or just nothing? Like you talk about cliques and stuff in high school. He was hard to read for me.
This is an 80s movie that's very confusing because usually the social lines are drawn very clearly in 80s high school movies, right?
Yeah.
You got the cool kids, you got the jocks, you got the nerds, you got the geeks, you got the stoners, you got the burnouts, whatever it may be. But this is like, I thought Scott and his friend Styles were geeks, but then they go to the house party and like Styles is the life of the party.
He
right?
really is. He was doing what, whipped cream wrestling or something? It was weird.
And everyone knows Scott. Like, not like he doesn't get the girl obviously right away until he gets a werewolf, but like aside from his best friend Boof, but people know him and like him, and people know and like the big guy Francis too. What's his name? Chubbs? Judd?
Yeah.
People like him. It feels like there are no geeks or nerds in this school. Like, it seems like everybody likes everybody.
Yeah, it was really like a blended social class. There really wasn't much of anything. I got the only thing that stood out to me was their friend, the guy with Styles. He seemed a little standoffish with Scott.
Lenny
but I don't
or Larry
know.
or Lenny?
Yeah, it was almost like he was jealous of him or scared of him or something was off. It was just a little
scared. I think it was scared. But they didn't go anywhere with it in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's weird. And what do you think of that house party, by the way? How would you rate that? We did Can't Hardly Wait. We did She's All That. Like, where does that rank on house parties?
I'm all about
podcast fame here.
I don't like parties that's just talking because I'm not a talker. I'm not a small talker. You know that. And, I blab on this show, but like, no, get me in a social setting at a party. I'm looking for the back quarter to lounge in. I like when there's like a game or an event going on at a party like this.
Cream Jello wrestling?
Whatever the hell is going on in this party, I would love to be in that room. Where it's
Making out in the closet?
Yeah, it's like they got a game going on. They're picking numbers. You have to do this. You have to do that. That to me, that's fun. At least there's something to do than just hold your beer and talk.
Well, you mentioned the life of the party. We got to talk about Styles, a.k.a. if you are a Boy Meets World fan.
Oh.
One of the most infamous characters in Boy Meets World history will shock you, Mr. Mac himself.
Great pull by you because I had no idea. And you pulled it immediately. I forgot. I did not see this.
I was watching this. I'm like, where is this guy from? I know this guy. And then it hit me and I'm like, oh my God. Are you centered, Badway? Badway, are you centered?
I was not centered.
Mr. Mac himself. Would you be friends with this guy, Styles?
I don't think so. He seems like too much of a dick. Like, I feel like I'd see right through him. I don't know. Can't trust a guy like this.
He seems a little slimy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think he was using Scott, especially after he turned into a werewolf?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, like, it's weird because he's kind of a good friend to Scott, but he's also definitely using the werewolf of him, for sure. Like, he makes him feel normal because Scott, it's the first guy that he came out to, right?
Right.
For lack of a better term. He showed his werewolfism to Styles, and Styles' reaction could have made or break Scott's security or insecurity. Sure. And he called him beautiful, and that's great. Isn't that nice?
Friendship is beautiful, I guess, but you know why he's beautiful, man? I told you, he saw the dollar signs.
He saw dollar signs.
Merch. He's making wolf mobiles. He's going to make a lot of. He's the equivalent. You mentioned this. We talked about Encino Man. There's a lot of parallels here. This is Dave, Sean Astin, Rudy, using Linkovich Chomovsky as a prop to become popular. Yeah. Now, they were already friends here, but it seemed very similar to me in that situation.
Yeah, it definitely did. It seemed like he immediately thought, how can I use this to become more popular and rich, right? It seemed that way. It's almost like a Zach Morris and Screech relationship.
Yes, it's very, very much like a Zach Morris Screech thing. Yeah. Well, how about the fact that he tried to get him to rob a liquor store or something?
Yeah.
What's even going on there?
I wanted to ask about that specific scheme. Does that hold water?
No.
To hold a toy gun in your pocket, not mention the gun, but make it clear that you have one, but also pay for the beer. It's not robbing.
Hey, you're Lastra legal expert. Isn't there something about brandishing a firearm? You mentioned this in one of our old episodes. There's like a law.
Is it brandishing if it's never shown?
I thought that there was something about using a prop weapon, and I thought you mentioned this on one of our episodes. We have to go back.
Forget the plastic gun. What if you use your hand and point it in the gun?
Hey, man, did you ever see the chase with Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
When he uses a candy bar, I think it was a Butterfinger, right?
Yeah.
He robbed the place and took the girl.
Well, no,
He was a criminal.
But it's not robbery if you pay for the beer, right?
But he used the weapon. Like, he paid for it, but the fact that he threatened, there's something with a threatening of a weapon.
But if but again, if you throw the plastic gun away and use your finger gun, like, that's not even a weapon. That's your finger.
I'm pretty sure that you said terroristic threats would be
you can't. It's not your fault if the beer salesman assumes you have a gun.
It's implied.
But that's up for the law to decide. Depends on your defense lawyer.
I need you as my lawyer. That's for sure.
I mean, there's one can reasonably say that I just had my hand in my pocket.
I would say
I paid for the beer. I didn't steal the beer.
Here's how you get away with it. Here's how. After you're done, you pull your hand out and you show that it was just your hand. But if you leave with a hand in your pocket, that's a gun until it's not a gun. If you leave with that plastic water pistol in your pocket, that's a real gun until it's a water pistol. So if you take it out and you go, just kidding, then you're good.
So the transaction's done. You have your keg. You take your right hand out of your pocket and say bye.
Yeah,
you show that you have nothing. You show you have nothing.
Then you're good. But then the guy kicks your ass.
Yeah, he takes the beer back. Yeah,
then he kicks your ass.
Yeah, that's probably. Oh, the guy's old. He really wasn't going to kick your ass.
That's when Steven Seagal walks in.
That's how you get your neck snapped by Steven Seagal.
The convenience store. That is, and that's how I got my neck snapped by Steven Seagal, robbing a liquor store with a water pistol. Oh my God. What about this guy? This guy's an idiot because he trades in his crappy ass convertible for what, like a delivery truck?
Yeah, it's
like a decommissioned UPS truck.
I don't know what you call it. Yeah,
it's
the
like
worst trade
delivery.
ever. The Wolfmobile. Did he buy it just so he could spray paint that on the side? Like, what's going on here?
I mean, if all you're gonna do is car surfing, then all right, that's better than the convertible.
Okay, I get it. So he didn't want to rely on Scott's dad's work van to car surf, so he had to buy a truck of his own. That's what this was.
Have you ever car surfed in your life?
I don't think so. No. I did have someone on the hood of my car. You know him.
Oh yeah, and he ripped
the pod, and he ripped my windshield wipers off.
If you're listening, you know.
So someone has ridden on the hood of my car.
And the wild thing is, you guys were driving home to my house. Yeah. I think you dropped my brother off, and I wasn't even there, and I missed this event.
Oh, you weren't there?
I wasn't even in the car at that.
I thought you were
moment.
there.
No,
I would tell the story that you're there, but okay,
I missed this. I know that it happened for sure, but he was not car surfing unless you're standing on the hood.
I don't know what he was doing. It was pretty dangerous. But he survived.
Didn't you have to Ace Ventura that
one time? Yeah, because I didn't get it fixed for a while because I was poor, a high school student. I was driving home and it started raining. I had to stick my head out of the window to see. It was pouring rain on top of my head.
Poor high school students. That is the equivalent of a poor high school student.
I don't even know if it was poor more than lazy. Like, I just didn't get it done. I just didn't get it done, and then finally it rained.
Man, I'll tell you what, though. I've not gone car surfing, and I feel like it seems to be one of the most dangerous things that you could do.
Yeah. How many kids have died imitating this, do you think?
Too many.
Dozens?
Too many.
A dozen?
Dozens, hundreds, loads, lots.
Lots, tons.
What about the fact that when he was, I'll tell you how bad of a friend he was. When he was quitting basketball, he's talking about the investment that he's got. Like, where's this guy getting this merch? Like, who is his t-shirt guy?
Who's this t-shirt guy in 1985? It's not like you could just have a friend that screen prints, right?
Threadless. You go on Redbubble.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell this is.
He's got buttons. He's got stickers. Would you rock that shirt? That purple? They sell them,
I like that shirt. I think
that purple Teen Wolf shirt.
I liked it. Yeah. I like the logo because the wispy hair becomes. It's a very easy to make logo there. Put it that way, you just make some wispy hairs, and I think it looks right. And just take the hair out of the crying hair out of my shirt. That's all I ask.
Shave that.
What about the girls in his life? So you mentioned Boof earlier. Dude, is she supposed to be like friend zoned? What's their relationship?
The Boof character just baffles me because isn't she like very cute? Right?
Oh yeah, I thought she was. I was like, dude, what are you doing? She likes you.
Yeah.
She likes you, and she seems cool.
She's not even hiding it, right?
No, she was very outright, obviously into him.
Yeah, she's very friend zoned to him. So apparently they've been friends since they were 5 or whatever. They talk about it, and maybe that's just the way it is. You know, he sees her as a sister. Maybe that's the way it goes. I don't know. To me, it seems like people like that are very lucky, right?
Yeah.
Or either that, or maybe not adventurous, but like if you find the love of your life because you were neighbors when you were 5 years old and you just grow up together and be best friends, like isn't that just being lucky?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Or is it that you just weren't adventurous?
Hey, the stars aligned, Badway. The stars aligned, found the love of his life.
We talk about soulmates. Everyone's got a soulmate. But like, is that really your soulmate because you happen to grow up next door to them? Or is it just because of proximity? Like, what is it? I mean,
it depends, I guess.
I don't mean to be philosophical here, but like, how do you find your soulmate? It's all about proximity and meeting someone in a certain place at a certain time. Some call it serendipity. Some call it soulmates. I don't know.
If, your soulmate is when you walk out and she's playing pickup basketball with your dad in the driveway. Yeah. I mean, that's a soulmate right there, right?
What was that weirder for? For her or for the dad?
Or for Scott?
Okay, imagine your wife, right?
Yep.
If your wife, just like without you, just went over to your dad's house and played basketball one-on-one with him, who would you be more mad at, her or your dad?
But if I was into her, then it would be, all right, thanks, Dad. But if I wasn't, because it seemed like Scott wasn't into her, it was almost like, oh, Dad, come on. Like maybe she inserted herself in the situation, or maybe it seemed as if in this moment, the dad was trying to get Scott to date Boof.
So maybe the meeting of the both of them was to plot to try to get Scott to be into her.
I think so.
Right? But like, I feel like there's a little too touchy-feely going on with the game of basketball, the way they were playing, right?
Yeah, it's a little weird, in my opinion.
A little weird.
It's a little weird.
I don't like it.
And then he had to walk her home, and he did not want to do it.
Yeah.
But it was clear she was cool. He's too into this idiot Pamela.
Yeah, she was cool. I mean, I know it's like you can't yell at the guy because it's the movie, but like, yeah, Boof was clearly the right choice.
They're definitely the best match, right?
Yeah, besides the fact that her name is Boof, like that is not a good nickname for a girl. I'm sorry.
I think it's Lisa Boof Marconi, but I want to call her Macaroni. Lisa Macaroni.
Lisa Macaroni. I would have thought like her name was Boofarelli or something. For it to be named, for at least to have a logical reason that her name was Boof.
I saw something. It was one of the significant others of one of the people involved in the movie or something. It was like their high school sweetheart or something like that. But what about Pamela? Because I got to tell you, like I was just not into Pamela at all. I know it's very like 1985, but even for 85, like I'm going Boof all the way. I'm sorry.
I would choose Boof too. If I had to choose, I would ask Boof out before I asked Pamela out. And even though Pamela's like, oh, the more quote unquote traditional, oh, it's the blonde. Oh, but no, I don't know. She seems like a handful, She thinks she's a good actress. She's not, right? She's dating this jerk from another school who we don't know is a jerk or not. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She just seems like a bad person. Like it's the typical guy wants the girl that's bad for him over the girl that's right in front of his face. Typical story.
One, I mean, we need to talk about her and we got to talk about Mick. But I'll say about Pamela, like the biggest violation to me, and as I was watching, I haven't seen this in a long time. So just for anyone listening, the history of me in this movie is I've seen it a few times, but it's not like an iconic movie from growing up. So I didn't remember a lot when I was watching this.
Yeah.
And when she was at the bowling alley with him and they were like on a date and Mick was bowling like 3 lanes over.
Yeah.
That's like if you took my wife on like a date at the bowling alley and you're like bowling with her and I'm bowling awkwardly 3 lanes away. Like I'm not hanging out with you guys.
It looks like weird, right? It looks like that she's cheating on you, right?
Yeah. It's a weird thing.
I thought it was weird that he didn't confront her immediately.
Well,
like, what's going on? Why are you with this guy?
And she hooked up with him, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, she's like, "No, I'm still with him. You can't blame him. He is my boyfriend." I'm like, "What?"
Very mixed signals, and she's like touching him, touchy feely at the bowling alley, kissing him. He's doing the whole here. Let me teach you how to bowl move.
I don't know if we can talk about this, but what's it? I mean, can we talk about it?
Yeah, please ask.
What's it like to, with a wolf? I mean, what's going on here? For lack of any implication,
it's not what's it like. My question is, why does she want it so much?
Yeah, I guess it's the unknown,
a wild experience. Like what's like? It's a beast.
I'm imagining like
it's a beast man.
I'm imagining like shelves being ripped down,
Yeah.
like all kinds of injuries, like cuts. I mean,
Cuts.
he made out with her as Scott. He made out with Booth in a closet as Scott, and he
Yeah.
ripped her back up.
Because he got too excited.
What's going on here?
I don't know, man. It's not good. I just says something about her that she wanted it so bad, right?
You're right. He is a beast.
Yeah. It's a beast man.
That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that. But I got to say this about Mick. So I don't want to bust out the villain scale because it doesn't really apply to him. Because honestly, he's just having his girlfriend cheat on him is what this guy's doing, and he's mad about it. And he's trying to win a basketball game, in my opinion.
His point of view, he's a jerk, but he's not a villain.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But even is he really a jerk? Because he didn't. I mean, he kind of made fun of Scott a little bit.
He calls him freak all the time. I mean, that's kind of jerk talk.
Well, but that was after he started going after his girl. In the beginning, he just fought him in a basketball game. I mean, games get heated. He's competitive.
He's an aggressive basketball player. I mean, we can't hold that against him.
He's trying to win.
He's their enforcer. You know,
he's trying to win the game, right?
Yeah.
In the words of a famous man, you play to win the game. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But I have a question about this guy. Like, how old is he?
Oh, it's at least 20.
Michael J. Fox was 24 at the time of filming. This guy looks like he was 45.
No, I mean, like in like movie world, Michael J. Fox is 17.
How old
this
is
guy's
Mick,
this guy's at least 20. I think they mention it in the movie where the other friend goes, you know, he's 20 years old. You know, he's still in high school only because he served time. So,
but like, what is the eligibility rules of high school basketball? Like, there's no red shirting freshman situation like college football. What can you play till you're 30? Like, if
you should be allowed.
GED?
I don't know. You shouldn't be allowed, but maybe you can play if you're part of the school. Like, imagine LeBron James. Just like, what if he just couldn't pass high school?
So,
and he just kept playing basketball as he got older and more physical, and the kids just kept getting younger.
So you think there's ever been a technique where a guy just on purpose keeps failing so that he can play and dominate?
I like that.
You know, in football, it makes a lot of sense, like especially when you think about like Texas football or something like that, where they want to win the championship all the time. I don't know where the biggest basketball schools are in the high school level, like the non-college level. You got to assume the guy's not good enough for college, but he's just going to wreck a bunch of high schoolers because obviously the best ones are going to want to get to the pros as fast as possible. But this guy just wants to play till he's 30.
Yeah.
He's just playing and failing.
That's a great point. Like, imagine LeBron James, right? He has an agent, right? But it's a secret. And the high school slides money to the agent. The agent slides money to the family.
The racket.
So the kid keeps failing on purpose, but keeps playing for the team and racking up championships.
Oh, yeah.
And then by the time he turns 21 or so, he's eligible to be drafted by the NBA. And then he doesn't even have to go to college. He just keeps failing high school. Then finally, when he gets the okay from the agent, he passes high school because he could do it the whole time. It was just a ruse. That's a sneaky good situation.
Dude,
I like it.
Call up Hollywood. We got to get this thing written because I feel like we got something here. But I have another question about this guy, and it's more about him and Pamela. And the question is, can you date the star player from another school, or is that a violation as someone that's involved in your school? Now, it happens, obviously, right?
Sure.
But she's technically rooting for the wrong team, isn't she? Or is she rooting for him, the player, but the Beavers to win? Like, what's that dynamic like?
You know, it's kind of weird. Like, if you think back to like our high school experience or whatever, right? We're close to a lot of high schools. It's just a town over, 10 minutes away, 15, 20 minutes away. But when you're in high school, doesn't it seem like a lifetime away?
It does.
Like, to be friends with people from another school, not that it'd be frowned upon, it just seems to be like, why? It just seems like effort to be so far away.
It does.
Like, to be in another school, to have to travel 20 minutes, which is not long at all. But it seems like, why, like, you have 600 kids in your class here. Like, why would you be friends? Why would you start befriending people from, 20 minutes away?
I mean, unless you
let alone date a guy or a girl.
That's true. And you could date, well, you know why she dated him? There wasn't a star basketball player on the
Right,
Beavers.
yeah. She wanted a winner. She
needed the winner.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I guess there was no eligible, and Styles is not her style. So I guess she's got to do that. But I just find this whole concept interesting because school spirit, man, is a thing. I mean, everybody that has been into high school understands this. A lot of times you hate the rivals. Now, these Dragons were pretty nasty. So she's rooting for this team.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't get it. So, and then also Mick, he's got to go hang out at this loser school, in his opinion. He's 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's hanging out with a bunch of bums at this crappy gymnasium dance. This guy doesn't want to be there.
Oh, well, did you notice at the party, he like went and got Pamela and like he was not ready to stay for a minute. He was like, let's go. We're going.
Yeah, he's off to a college party.
He was probably off to the other party. Yeah. Or he's off to a bar somewhere because he's legal. You know it.
I just find this whole concept interesting. Like, I don't know if it actually works.
It seems
or
odd.
not.
It does seem odd. Just because maybe, I don't know. You know, we weren't the most popular kids at school. No, I mean, we weren't total geeks. But it just seems odd to search out friends from other schools just because like you spend so much time with everyone in your school. You think that's enough, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So that she's going out there and she's dating this dude from another school. It just seems like she's disconnected from the school as well. She doesn't seem like she has any friends. No one's talking to her. She's acting in this play by herself. She has no other co-stars. Like, I don't know what's going on here with this play.
It's a one-man show here. It's
Yeah,
like
what's
some
going
weird
on here?
Broadway thing.
Yeah.
And then she introduces him. And
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even talk about that. The casting director guy,
Yeah.
he wanted the wolf. And like, he wants the wolf in the play. Is
Her character is so weird. Like, she has no friends. Like, she doesn't talk to anyone in this movie besides Scott and Mick. That's it.
Yeah, she sits on the bench by herself. That's it.
And she's disgusted by Scott until she shows him his wolf dick or something. I don't know. It's the only time she got excited about him.
But when, and to think about him, like, why is he even attracted to her? Because for all intents and purposes, like, she seems like a terrible person.
Yeah,
she doesn't really,
it's like, you don't know what you got. You know, he sees the blonde and he's like the classic typical 80s gotta have the long-haired blonde.
But typically they're offering something like, oh, they're popular. Like, she's popular.
She's
but
not
is she?
popular. Yeah. Well, she is, but she isn't. I don't know. She's popular because she's cute or whatever.
They needed to give her more of the Mean Girls vibe. where
Yeah, she
needs
needed
to
an
be
entourage
like a
of
clique.
girls. Yeah, she
But
needed a clique.
She didn't have them.
She didn't have a clique.
I think that's a miss for this movie. But
Yeah.
you mentioned this to me a couple weeks ago, but I think this is a great idea. And I found this online. We used to talk about this on our old podcast, Bauer Hour, but the Golden Closet, if you remember the Golden Closet, they used to sell movie memorabilia and props. And I found that there was a Beverly Hills pawn shop bought this jersey that Michael J. Fox wore, the Beavers one, that was basically drenched in sweat and hair and all kinds of crap.
Drenched in hair.
It sold to this pawn shop. Do you know how much money it would actually, instead of that, how much would you be willing to pay for this jersey?
For a boy's small
A
jersey?
Beavers, yeah, small, extra small.
The extra small jersey because Michael J. Fox had to fit in it. Game worn Michael Fox jersey. I don't know. I'd pay $100.
It went for $30K.
That's ridiculous.
And this is like a big deal. I mean,
Yeah.
you talked about this, like, we should start talking about, is there one thing from the movie
Yeah, what would you
that
buy?
you would buy? I would not pay for that. I want the
Yeah.
van. That's what I want. Or the
Yeah.
Babe-mobile or whatever the hell the thing's called.
There's a couple things. I don't know. Like the what are you looking at? Dick Nose t-shirt that Styles has.
That's a good one.
It's a ridiculous shirt. Like I know that you could buy it wherever you want. Like to have the original, that would be cool. Scott's Letterman jacket, which I think
That's
is
the
pretty
one.
iconic. That's pretty iconic. I would pay $500 for that jacket. The real one. And I don't know. Also, maybe Styles is convertible, which is it's a shitty car, but I kind of like it.
That thing's in like a junkyard somewhere.
It's got it's like 7 colors. It's like
a Chrysler LeBaron.
it's like a Chrysler or a Buick or something. It's not cool in any way, but I kind of like it. I don't know.
Man, I don't know. I feel like you mentioned this to me when we talked about it, and you brought up Jones the Dolphin. The fact that we could have bought that thing, man, I would have loved to have.
If
that in
only we
this.
knew.
Before we get out of here, let's talk about the final game. So we got the Dragons and the Beavers, two of the weirdest team names I've ever heard of a weird movie basketball
Really odd. Yeah.
universe. The way this game ends, so he stopped being the wolf. He was quitting the team and all this stuff. He kind of came of age, as we would say.
Sure.
I thought it was a little weird about how the game ended on free throws. Most of the shows or movies are like a crazy crazy climactic 3-point shot or some crazy layup or a drive or something, especially in a basketball movie. But maybe I'm crazy to think that, and maybe it's better to end it on free throws. What do you think would have been a better ending? Do you like the way it ended and the way that they won?
I like this. I mean, I wouldn't change it. I like the drama of the free throws. And I thought it was a good bookend because the movie started with him shooting free throws. I liked that it was the end of the game and how Mick was just staring daggers at him from under the basket, which is totally not allowed. Like that's.
I like that you get off the court.
You can't have that guy standing there. That's everyone else is off the court because it's the end of the game. Like, why does that guy get to stand there and basically try to distract him?
He's still his girlfriend. He's allowed.
I don't like it.
The ref knew.
No, but if I were to change the ending, like, would it be so much to like say, let's say Scott's driving to the lane and Mick's about to foul him real hard, and like right as he's jumping, he turns into the wolf midair. And does like a crazy dunk on, and like he breaks the backboard on top of the guy. That would have been awesome, right?
Like NBA Jam style.
Yeah. Like he breaks the backboard and ends the game, and like he wins the game. Do it like that. But that would take away from the whole coming of age and like the message of Scott being comfortable in his own skin and this and that. Like that's the message they wanted to send, I'm sure. But if we wanted to get the wolf one more time to shine, we could have done that.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to show it because he was done with the wolf, but I would have liked that much better, I think.
So, yeah, right? I know what to do.
I think that would have been better. And I also just, maybe another random thing was, I just thought it was weird how they all just kind of got good at basketball. And like, did his wolf skills transfer over? Like, he had hyper training because he trained as some star athlete, and then it transported that power to everyone else and himself. Like, did he get good at basketball, or did he unlock confidence that he didn't have before? What was that?
Yeah, it was the leadership that got everyone else going. I mean, Francis figured out he could shoot because maybe he could shoot all along. He just never tried because he was not confident.
That coach sure ain't helping anybody. So.
No, he was drawing up plays. He wasn't doing anything. What do you think the practices they were doing?
Man, yeah, you're right. Probably nothing. Just shoot around. They're playing horse.
They're playing horse. They were helping coach with his taxes. That's what they were doing.
He's finding ways to coach them on that. Yeah. This will help you guys become men. Learn how to do taxes.
Yeah.
And just before we also end, I got to say, this is the sweatiest I've ever seen anybody in a basketball game ever.
Gross. It's so gross.
They're dumping buckets of water on these guys.
Yeah. Who's their water boy?
I've never been this sweaty in my life.
Yeah. I've played basketball for 4 straight hours. I've never sweat like that. Maybe I'm not doing it right. I don't know. Maybe I'm not playing hard enough.
Play harder, man. Turn into a wolf.
Yeah.
So what do you think the lessons of this movie are before we get out of here? What do you want to leave the people with?
Be comfortable in your own skin. Be yourself. That's what's really cool. That's what you got to do.
I think that's very well put. Being comfortable in your skin, Scott learning, coming of age, becoming a man, a wereman, a werewolf man, the wolf man himself.
Realizing that Boof is the one for him.
Seeing what was in front of him all along. Yeah, I think it's a good movie and it's a good message, and I enjoyed watching it. And I'm glad that you suggested this one. Yeah. So thanks for bringing this one up. This was a good time watching it.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed the movie, definitely let us know. Send us an email, thelastrowpodcast@gmail.com. Leave a comment on the episode's page on YouTube or on the website. Check us out on Twitter @thelastropod, facebook.com/thelastropod, Instagram. And if you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser. Thanks to everyone that left us one so far, and we'll be back in 2 weeks on Thursday, February 23rd. And on that note, see you later.
Oh!
So is it illegal?
Yes. I mean, do you want to ask it?
No, I think that was the perfect way to do it.